With the absence of Jameson Williams, should we be worried about our wide receiver core? Now, I think we are light years better than we were 2 years ago when we had the likes of Brashard Perriman, who wind up not making the team, Tyrell Williams, who went out early with a concussion. The only really benefit from that was the acquiring of Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond has been really an undervalued, really wide receiver for us. And not knowing much about him in 2021, I know about him now. And he had bounced around the league, and it looks like he found a home with the Detroit Lions. He had a 1-year deal, then he signed a 2-year deal, and now he's entering the last year of that 2-year deal. But there has been a trade proposal for a wide receiver. Now, I know you guys are high on the wide receiver room, as am I. I like our wide receivers, especially with the return of Marvin Jones Jr. But we can't deny that we could always use some help. That 6th spot right now is up for grabs. You have Chase Cota, you have Antoine Green, you have old reliable Tom Kennedy. The Lions will carry 6 wide receivers. But do we have those 6 that with missing Jameson Williams? So you have, let's look at our wide receiver core right now, and I will bring this information in. The wide receivers that we currently have on our team, Jameson Williams, he would be wide receiver one of the 6. St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones Jr. Those are the guaranteed starting 5, in my opinion. Number 6 is going to go to Tom Kennedy, Antoine Green, Dylan Drummond, Chase Cota, Trinity Benson, Maurice Alexander. And then, while Jameson Williams is suspended, another one of these individuals is going to have to step up. So why am I bringing this up? Well, you already saw in the title and the thumbnail that a trade proposal for a wide receiver by the name of Corey Davis has been proposed to the Detroit Lions. DeAndre Hopkins is probably the only wide receiver that we could acquire at this point that would cost money but no capital. If we get any other wide receiver, I mean, Jarvis Landry is still a free agent, but I don't really want him, right? So if we get anybody else, it's going to require trade capital. I've looked at the wide receiver market. It is terrible, all right? So we're better off trading for someone, even though you might not like to hear it. So I'll tell you what the heavy has to say and what the trade proposal is, and then we'll look at his stats and his salary, and I'll give you my opinion on this. So according to Pro Football Network, says Robinson proposed the Lions acquiring Davis and a 2024 7th round pick in exchange for a 2024 6th round choice. So we would get Corey Davis, we would get a 2024 7th round pick, and we would give them a 2024 6th round choice. So that would be in next year's draft. So we would get Davis and a player for a 6th rounder. Okay? Just from that proposed trade, that's not a bad trade. It is not. We get an additional player, and I think they're giving us that player because his contract is pretty hefty this year, and it would be right now a 1-year rental. So let's look at Corey Davis' stats throughout his career. He was drafted from Western Michigan in 2017, which is ironically the same draft that another first-round underachiever, Jared Davis, came out. He was our first-round pick. He was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. He spent 4 years with them and then 2 years with the New York Jets. Now, why could he be on his way out? Well, because the New York Jets have become the Green Bay Jets. They have Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. They picked up McCole Hartman, and it might not be any room for Corey Davis. But Corey Davis, in his career, the first thing I notice is that he's never had a 1,000-yard receiving season. He came very close in 2020, but he averages probably close to 600 or 700 yards a season. So that's the first thing I noticed. The last 2 years, the last time he played a complete season was in 2018. He has never played a full season outside of that 1 year with the last 2 seasons being 13 in 2022 and 9 in 2021. Now, I have no idea if he was hurt or anything like that, as seeing as how I don't really keep too much up with the New York Jets. But his contract, to me, is why the issue that we would have. For me, I don't mind that trade capital, even on a 1-year rental, because we get a 7th-round pick. Brad Holmes could finesse that into something. He does it every single year. So he was injured in 2021, and that's what happened there. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he was indeed injured. In 2023, says this is from SpotTrack. In 2023, Davis will earn a base salary of $10.5 million while carrying a cap hit of $11.1 and a dead cap value of a little over $600,000. So would the Detroit Lions do this? Obviously, I don't know. Should they do it? Only way I would do this, honestly, he could be cut. He could be cut. So we could wait and see if he gets cut. But if they wanted to ensure that they got him, that 10 point something million, 10.5 million that he's supposed to receive in base salary, that is pretty hefty for a guy who's never had a 1,000-yard season. And coming off in the last 2 years, he had 34 games that he could have played in, and he's only played in 22. So for me, that's pretty hefty. Now, if he's cut, then why not bring him in? Why, if he's released after training camp, bring him in. If the New York Jets are willing to pay some of that, like we did for Jeff Okudah, for the Falcons to take Jeff Okudah, because remember, Jeff Okudah he was going into year 4, so his wasn't as high. I think it was $5 million, somewhere around there. If they can pay some of that, then sure, because we are essentially only 4 receivers in right now. We are down 1 receiver in Jameson Williams. But here's my thing. We trade for Corey Davis. Our wide receivers at this point would be Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones Jr., and Corey Davis. That's not a bad wide receiving core. I actually saw an article today about how our wide receiver core is not even, I think they said bottom 10 or something like that, which I disagree with that totally. But if we were to get someone like a Corey Davis who held it down until Jameson Williams came back, that wouldn't be that bad. Let me ask you this. Would you rather have Corey Davis or Tom Kennedy, Dylan Drummond, Chase Cota, Trinity Benson, Maurice Alexander, or Antoine Green? I mean, if you take away the money, which one would you rather have? That's the question you have to answer. And if you pick Corey Davis, then you would take this trade. So for me, I like the draft capital. I'm not bothered by that, but the money is a little steep to me for a guy who's never had a 1,000-yard receiving season, coming off an injury 2 years ago. Only way I would take it is if we can get that salary down, and I would take this offer. But without that would be a no for me. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. We have 80 days until the season kicks off. And as always, go Lions.